Here's the stuff we want. This is our seaweed. We found out that it's real good. Help the ozone layer with the methane that the cattle are all supposed to be producing.
I'm John Duynisveld, and I'm a research biologist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada at the Nappan experimental farm in Nova Scotia. We're working on a methane measuring project looking at the effect of feeding seaweed to beef cattle and how that may impact their growth, some of the reproduction, and their emissions of methane. So this project is part of the Beneficial Management Practices 1 for the Living Labs of PEI. Most of our industries within agriculture are looking at reducing their greenhouse gas emissions by about 30% by 2030, based on 2005 levels. In the beef and dairy world, reducing methane emissions is one of the key ones that we were looking at.
I'm Joe Dorgan, one of the owners of North Atlantic Organics. We're in Sea Cow Pond, right on the end of Prince Edward Island. My old man, he farmed all his life. This is the home farm. I'm the 5th generation here. When I started this, we were dairy farmers, my son and I. Then we needed a source of minerals and vitamins. You could buy them, but they were way too expensive, so we're living on it here. This stuff was all still on the beach. Irish moss, Furcellaria, Rockweed, Kelp. Let's do something with it. After a good storm, we pick it up right off the beach, take it home, and then it's dried. Then we'll put it through the processor here. After it goes through those 2 conveyors and that drum, there's a hammer mill back there. Chops it all up. Then it goes through another vibrating screen system back there. It goes through that into the bagger. The lads bag it, weigh it, put it on the pallet, and we'll put it away.
When we're ready to start testing the cows, they come in and they put their head through this special hood that we have for them. Have an air conditioner that helps to remove a little bit of the moisture before it hits the big lines and gets pulled out of the head box. Once we start the big vacuum pumps, these big tubes will suck the air and the gases that we're interested in up through the filter and then in through here and onto our cart. It'll go through a few different drying columns to make sure that the air is nice and dry before it hits the analyzers. You'll be able to see in real time a tracing of what those analyzers are measuring of what's coming out of the cow's breath.
What we have found in our preliminary results is that when we're feeding a 1% seaweed in the diet of these beef cattle, accounting for the size of the animal, we see a 16% reduction in their methane emissions. We're quite happy to see that number. It's not our 30% that we're aiming for, but it's halfway there.
Before the Irish moss business started, the people were all hauling it off on the beaches for their fertilizer. Cattle were eating it, sheep were eating it, all their animals were eating it because they were spreading it out in their pasture fields or whatever.
It's a local product. It's produced on PEI. It's a natural product for animals to eat. The minerals and vitamins in it are immediately available. And it's something that, anyone can go down and visit Joe and Sea Cow Pond. Literally, I was there on vacation last summer, just dropped by and grabbed half a dozen bags so I could feed it to my sheep at home. It's not a new concept to feed seaweed to cattle and sheep. The new concept is seeing how it impacts on the methane emissions. The Living Labs is really an interesting concept because it's really a two-way communication between the research side of things and the agricultural side of things. I like talking with farmers. I like finding out what they're interested in and what challenges there are that maybe we might be able to help to address. It's a great way to make these ideas work and these beneficial management practices successful on the farm.